All right, we are live.
We are live. All right. Let's just go ahead and kick this off here. Um, okay. We are going to do a training about purposefully posting on social media. Um, and the purpose of this training isn't to censor you. It's you're allowed to have your own thoughts and feelings. That is not the issue. This training is about posting your own thoughts and your own opinions and not getting sucked down some sort of algorithm that manipulates your emotions or your credibility and then therefore affects negatively impacts your business. So, um, I personally am known for posting polarizing content, but I'm very purposeful about doing it. And I wanted to do this training so that I could teach agents to do the same if that's something that you're interested in doing. If you're going to post, do it purposefully. Holly, do you have anything to add on this slide? Muted.
You said it all. Great way to set the stage.
Cool. Well, okay, so let's do a reality check. Social media platforms, they're never going to be neutral. They're never going to be unbiased and present just the facts. They are meant to invoke emotional reactions. You hear the term rage bait for a reason. They post extreme content, and the more that you are engaging with it, and you don't even have to sit there liking it, commenting on it, or anything like that, the longer you sit there just watching it, it is going to track that and it's going to note that you're interested in that content. The algorithm doesn't care if it's true or false. The algorithm doesn't care about your mental health. If the post makes you angry or scared, it is all part of what's designed to keep you on that particular social media platform. So, um, one of our staff members, our TC, actually came up with this. She taught this to us when we were talking about like our social media way of posting things. And this isn't to say yes or no, you should always post something that fits within this framework, but it's a good gut check for you to be purposeful in the way that you're posting some shit. So, is what you're about to post true? Have you verified the information? What are the sources? Are they credible? Are you just reposting random shit that got a lot of reposts, or is it fact? Are you distinguishing between facts or opinions or emotions? So challenge your own biases or assumptions. I was talking to someone over this week and they were like, I've been following these people for years. I've trusted everything that they've posted. So it was fine for me to repost their stuff. Only recently, though, did those people's posts become a lot more extreme. So just because it's a person you've been following doesn't mean that that's like a viable resource, right? So is it helpful? Is it contributing positively to the discussion or situation? And it's not even like, oh, it has to be like all sunshine and rainbows or whatever. Is it relevant, right? Does it offer some sort of clarity? Is it some sort of constructiveness, not negative? If you're gonna, again, if you're gonna troll purposefully, right? But um understand why you're posting this. Is it intentional? Again, that kind of goes with when I just said trolling. What is your intent? What's your purpose? Are you trying to inform, help, or are you provoking a reaction? It's okay if you are purposefully provoking a reaction. I truly believe that Donald Trump is so popular because he provokes so many reactions on social media. I've been following him on Twitter since I want to say like 2012 or something, like a long time, way before it was even heard of that he was even thinking about running for president. And his tweets were just hilarious. And he would tweet about big companies and those big companies would tweet back. And I'll never forget, there was a tweet where he said, and I quote, this is an exact quote because it's one of my favorite tweets ever. I've never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. That was his tweet. And then the very next tweet, and it was probably a day later, he said, well, apparently the Coca-Cola company is not happy with me. That's okay. I'll still keep drinking that garbage. Because Diet Coke's one of his favorite drinks too. And Diet Coke's one of my favorite drinks. I fucking love Diet Coke. And I didn't take it personal. It's a hilarious tweet, right? Um, so what is the purpose behind you posting something? Is it to be funny? Just think about that. What's your intent? Is it necessary? I'll be honest, I've stopped myself. I have started to type some like a response to somebody. I've started to post something and then I've thought about like, is it worth it? Like, I know a bunch of people are about to unfriend me over this just because they're going to disagree with it. And yeah, it is. It technically is their problem. It's not my problem, but still, um, I think my internet's lagging. Sorry, guys. But honestly, I have stopped myself a couple of times because it wasn't absolutely necessary for me to be posting that shit. Um, However, again, I post polarizing content. You guys saw my rant about NAR yesterday, and Brian, of course, clipped it, and that'll probably get posted. But I run through the think thing and just be like, hey, what's my intent behind this, right? And then is it kind? And I added without being weak. Like you don't have to add weakness to it. Is it going to cause undue harm or distress? Now, there are some people out there that are ultra sensitive right now, and there's nothing you can do about that. Like, they can't be reasoned with. But is what you're posting, reasonable, right? Could you be firm and clear in your message without maybe some extra little words that you're throwing in there, right? Also, there's some things that I'll just send privately instead of posting it because I know some people would appreciate the content and other people are not going to appreciate it. Um, okay. So I wanted to talk about how to verify, like how to fact check, because I'm not going to rely on Meta's fact checking. It's pretty interesting how often it's fact checking is always leaning left. So I'd rather do, and you know what? ChatGPT's fact checking leans left as well. And sometimes your AI, whatever you're using, is going to start leaning a certain way towards an algorithmic path that you've already set it on. So beware of that. Okay. So here's some tips about verification. Um, Verifying the origin of images or videos to ensure they haven't been manipulated. It's like we can't trust our own eyes anymore. AI has ruined that for us. So there are tools out there that can help. And we're going to go through a little verification of a little post. But, we just talked about rage bait. Rage bait exists. How many headlines have we seen? Nobody clicks on articles hardly at all anymore. They don't read into the article. They read the headline. And have you ever looked at these headlines and then all the different news sources and how they position the different headlines of the same thing that happened? Like, just look at Charlie Kirk's death, and how it was positioned and how many headlines were so different. Some posted it as an assassination. Others posted it as like, barely acknowledgeable. It was very interesting to see how these different news outlets posted it. Like, oh, unfortunate circumstance at an event, like, at a college event today. And then other people, wrote a completely different headline. So it was very interesting. Or like the guy that, was arrested for killing him. I'm not going to say the guy that killed him, but the guy that was arrested for killing him, the way that they positioned that headline even, or who they wanted to frame that person as. So it was very interesting. Just don't look at a headline and, take it to the bank. So also check the date on things. We've all seen these old posts circle back around and induce rage or emotion all over again. And that's just, you just kind of sit back and watch the show, right? Compare it with other reputable sources. If only one source is reporting something, and that's usually what, like a celebrity death, right? Somebody starts posting like RIP J Lo. You're like, what the fuck? And you go and you start researching it, and only one news source has posted it. So just try to find it from several sources and not just a bunch of tweets being like, did you all hear this? Like, can anybody verify it? Like, that's not a source either. Distinguish between objective reporting and opinion. Unfortunately, this gets harder and harder because I believe the press isn't held accountable anymore. But try to recognize when an author is presenting facts because they will list sources, or if it's just their personal interpretation. Okay. So, this is what I was talking about that we would kind of look through. So imagine you see a tweet claiming that Pakistan has shot down an Indian fighter jet with an accompanying image of a burning plane. Okay. And that's the thing is like we've all seen, videos and the footage doesn't match at all what the headline is. So number one, check who posted it, who's the source. Is it a reputable news organization, government official, or an unverified account? Look at their history. Is it a brand new account, or how often do they post sensationalized content or corrections? Two, investigate the images, use reverse image search. Is the image genuinely from this event, or is it an old photo from a different conflict, or even from like a video game or something, or AI? Look for metadata or digital watermarks. Three, cross-reference with reliable sources. Do major outlets, BBC, Reuters, AP, or official government channels confirm this? Be wary if only fringe websites or unverified social media accounts are reporting it. If none of these checks confirm the claim, it's highly likely to be misinformation, so do not share. Consider the source. Evaluate the credibility of the account or page posting the content. Again, these accounts are being rewarded for rage baiting you and keeping you on the platform. If an account is posting material that keeps you engaged, they're they're going to be rewarded for that. And their posts are going to be seen more and more and more and more often. Examine the claim. What exactly is being claimed? Is it emotional? Is it meant to provoke you emotionally? A strong reaction or something? Make sure you're cross-referencing and corroborating from multiple independent trusted news organizations. Now, you don't have to go super deep, but like think about when Holly and I put together these True Crime Tuesday episodes, True Crime and Real Estate, we don't just like look up one news source and then, present a podcast episode, mainly because we know that when we start doing that, there's going to be a target on our back and somebody could, start threatening a lawsuit or something. And anybody can sue anybody for anything. So this is all about covering your ass as well when you start posting things on social media. So consult with fact checkers. again, like it says Snopes here. Sometimes I don't even like 1,000% believe in Snopes. I feel like it has an agenda as well, but use multiple fact checkers. So this is really what I wanted to talk about is post purposefully, even if you're polarizing. Because again, I'm a self-declared polarizing content poster. So this isn't at all me telling you don't post polarizing content. That actually usually gets the most attention. And people are going to, be able to relate to that. People are going to know where they stand with you. And that's why they like you, is they relate to you. You'll say stuff that they don't have the guts to say, right? Um, so polarizing content, I am pro polarizing content, but you have to be able to take the heat, right? Holly and I have discussed this offline. She is, kind of sensitive, and she has really drawn up some amazing posts and then not chosen not to post them because she's like, you know what? I really don't want to deal with the heat that this is going to cause or the backlash or whatever. But you guys see her post. She's even started, posting some purposefully polarizing content because it's okay to call out what's right or wrong. So polarizing isn't inherently bad. Where I feel posts are inherently bad is that mindless reposting fake news bullshit. So before you're sharing rage bait and controversial material, that's where I highly recommend you, if you don't take the time to fact check it, at least repost it with some of your own original thoughts. And state your position on the matter clearly, because especially if you're not taking the time to read it, if you're just like reposting it blindly, then you're fully, um, what's that called?
Cul-
When you're fully like,
Culpable?
yeah, but you're like, I agree with,
Like endorsing it?
yeah, endorsing it. Thank you. Yeah, you're fully endorsing whatever you're reposting. Um, and whether you think you are or you aren't, that's the public's perception. When you repost something, you're endorsing it.
Yeah, you can't be like, well, but not for my this doesn't count for my one friend unless
Yeah.
you literally share that. People aren't going to think that you had some disclaimer in your head, right? Like so
And so Holly and I talked about this, like our line that we draw at this brokerage is you're allowed to have opinions and you're allowed to have beliefs and you're allowed to disagree with people. But where we draw the line is from I disagree with you to you're the problem. Or if you and I voted differently, you're a bad person. Or generalizing people as a whole with like, saying Nazi or whatever, calling people entire groups like names and stuff. So once it crosses the line into disrespect like that, it's just like we tried to figure out where the line was, and that's where our line is. So just remember, it's okay to post polarizing content, and I've very much used it to my advantage. We've got some big things happening at this company. We've got states opening at this company specifically because of polarizing content we've posted. People relate to it. It makes them feel this fire and this passion, and then they reach out to us via DM and they're like, how can I help? I want to join your company. Like, this is exactly a cause that I can get behind. So it is okay to invoke emotion, but do it in the right way and do it with your own thoughts and do it with your own vibes. And so, again, you don't have to post polarizing content, but if you do, I wanted to show you how to do it and how to do it purposefully. Um, are there any questions or thoughts or opinions. This can be a discussion now that I've ran through my slides.
This was great. And you're so right. How many times do I text you with an idea or a comment or something and then I just never post it? So that's, I'm trying to be more bold in that, but this couldn't have come at a better time because like you and I always knew what we meant, but making sure we're putting it out there and setting that expectation for everybody is only fair.
Go ahead,
What's
Nate.
crazy is everything is like kind of created to divide to us in some form or fashion. Like I have a friend who is views are completely different from mine. And it's interesting when we compare like TikToks, like and we go to the comment section of this same exact TikTok, his comments are completely catered to his side, and mine is completely catered to like the side that I more lean on. And I think the one thing to really notice is one, they purposely tried to divide us, and two, like I have many friends who are on the opposite side. Like it shouldn't dictate like who we associate with either, just because they have a different form of an opinion. But it is important to realize that they're trying to divide us and don't
Mhm.
let it happen.
And so I'm going to tell you guys some of the worst advice that I ever got in this business, and that was never post political content. So don't post political content if you don't want to. But for me, I wanted to not be afraid to post political content. People said, if you post political content, you're alienating half of your potential business. In my opinion, if I post political content and people alienate themselves because of it, then they were never going to be my clients in the first place. They weren't my clients to they weren't my right target. Like who is your target anyway? So in my social media, my account, my That Broker Girl, which changed into I Am Sandy Lynn, um, there's mainly agents. Agents follow me on that account and I follow agents. And so that's my target. So I post a lot of stuff joking about like, oh, open houses or making fun of the industry and stuff. And I know that my clients follow me and stuff, but it is not a consumer facing page. It's not a consumer facing account and it's not meant for consumers. So also, if I were going to add anything to this training, I'd be like, consider your target. Who is your post aimed at? What is the purpose that you're trying to drive home with this? And so it's easy to, get sucked down algorithms and then feel a lot of passion for something. I love me a good conspiracy theory, right? But I just like discuss those with my friends. I'm not gonna start like posting them publicly and like machine gun firing them, because I have a purpose with my Instagram account, and that is to send a message to agents. And so if it isn't filling my purpose, then not. And I do post some stuff about whiskey, but everybody can relate to that puppy dog. So what else do
I
you
think
guys
Ted
got?
Lasso said it best is, and I know it's cheesy, but be curious and not judgmental. So when you see something that somebody does post, so let's say it does trigger you, be curious to why they posted it. Be curious to like, what does this mean? Like do some research and maybe, if you view the opposite side of what they posted, have that intelligent response of like, hey, I actually looked into this. Did you actually, review the source and actually watch the full speech, or did you watch, like, and be curious is what I would suggest too.
I actually forgot to finish my thought about like posting political content. So again, don't post anything if you can't take the heat, right? But I posted a reel like a long time ago. I just remember it was in the middle of winter. It was back in the 20 teens, okay? It was a long, long time ago. And it was something about being leaning right or whatever. And it was a right wing leaning talking head reel. It was my own thoughts and my own opinions. And it was the highest engaged reel I had ever posted. People, whether they agreed or disagreed, were commenting on it. And I got my highest priced transaction from it. It was a $1.6 million deal. And it was people, they were just like, hey, we specifically are choosing you because of this. We want to know where we stand with somebody, and we want to make sure that we're choosing somebody that voted for Trump and didn't vote. Like they literally, but they're allowed to choose whoever they want for whatever reason they want. You know, people can shop from Black-owned businesses, or they can do whatever they want. And so they specifically chose me for that purpose. And I had all kinds of agents reach out to me, DMing me saying, man, I really wish that I could post my thoughts publicly. And I'm like, you can post your thoughts publicly. You just have to deal with the consequence. You have to be prepared to deal with the consequences. If you're not prepared to deal with the consequences, then don't do it. But my consequences have always seemed to be good because I'm purposeful in the way that I do it. So just weigh out the consequences before you start posting polarizing content. I knew that whatever reel I was doing was going to be polarizing. So any other thoughts or questions? All right, Holly, close us out.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. When in doubt, reach out, message us if you need us. We are here for you. We all started this morning with a blank slate at 0. So go out and talk to a buyer, a seller, or an agent today. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. I love how Damien came